Hello and welcome to another Cuz Bad Guys breakdown. In this breakdown, we are going to go over Knight Models Batman Miniatures game FAQ for March 2017. In this video, I'm not going to go over absolutely everything that's in the FAQ. I'm just going to go over, I think, the largest changes and I think the most prevalent things for the game. If you want to go through the entire FAQ, there's a link below. Go ahead and follow along. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with the first page, and on the first page there is the change for Echo, which is the SWAT member that has the battering ram. He gained Brutal in one of the earlier FAQ posts, but now he gains Lethal Blow. Lethal Blow on this guy is going to be great. I'm really excited for that. I think he's the most underused SWAT member so far because he doesn't have a gun. So let's go ahead and move on to the Joker changes. So Joker Arkham City is going to be increased in reputation cost to 105. So is Joker Heath Ledger is being increased to 90. Both of these changes, I think, were pretty overdue. I actually think that these Joker costs are still a little low from what they should be, just because Joker Arkham City is a monster, and Heath Ledger Joker is a monster as well with his machine gun. Another Joker change is the Killing Joke Joker. They're changing his Intimidate trait to Intimidation, and that's because the Joker from the Suicide Squad had the same name on their abilities, and their abilities are two different abilities, so it makes sense that they're changing it. And then lastly for this is going to be the change for Little Spark. Little Spark originally had 5 endurance, and I think it was just a misprint for some cards, so only if you have that card set will this matter. Moving on, we're going to go to Ying. Ying is one of the ninjas for the League of Shadows. He is getting the Harden trait, so 1 blood a turn is turned into stun for him, which is pretty awesome. That's going to be great. And then also there at the bottom, all the henchmen in the Bane set and Merc set 1 are getting the mercenary rule, which means if they're taken in a League of Shadows crew, then Bane or Bird has to be present, which this is just a fluffy thing because I think taking Nissa or Lady Shiva or Ra's al Ghul as your leader and then taking mercenaries with them, it's not very fluffy. So I totally appreciate this and I really like it. I think people were taking Nissa and Ra's al Ghul and then taking Dallas, the machine gun guy, the mercenary machine gun guy that has the bulletproof vest, and he's a really powerful character, and I think Knight Models wanted to put their foot down on that, which totally makes sense. Moving on, let's go on to the sequence to stop an attack. The only change they made here is with the bat armor, which is only 1 in parentheses. When I first saw this, I thought that they were saying that bat armor can only block 1 attack, so if Batman gets stabbed 3 times, you can only roll 1 time. But then a buddy of mine actually pointed out that with certain characters, you can actually get multiple bat armors. So I think people were putting Bat Armor Mark 1 and Bat Armor Mark 2 onto someone like Batwoman. And I think Knight Models just wanted to make a clarification that you can only make 1 type of save with bat armor. You can't do it twice, which totally makes sense. It's a good clarification, I think, for tournaments. And moving on to the next question is going to be, can I attack a KO'd model without using the coup de grace rule? Which is awesome because I love taking the Flash, and he has Moral Compass, and it means that you can't use the coup de grace rule. And I really appreciate that they're clarifying this and letting good guys still attack people while they're knocked out. You just don't get the conversion bonus, which is pretty good. I really appreciate that. So let's move on to the next one. This is going to be the change to the bat signal. So the bat signal has been taken down a notch from its overpowered state, which I think totally needed to be done. It's gone from being 4 points when it's turned on to 3 points when it's on, which is a great change. I think it's really going to help balance out the game. Totally appreciate Night Models doing this. I know it's been a time coming. The next thing we're going to cover is going to be the change to Speedster X, which is models without Speedster can't block close combat attacks from a Speedster, which is awesome because they're Speedsters, they're moving really, really fast. And then the running with a Speedster doesn't have to be in a straight line, so they can run around corners and run up buildings and all of that stuff. Super, super awesome. I really, really like that. The next thing we're going to cover is going to be the question on crews and teams. So how does this, how do you differentiate the difference between them and what special rules affect them, which ones don't? So I really like that they've singled out Arrogant and Affinity, which is really good because Arkham Knight Jason Todd has Arrogant, and if you took him in a Teen Titans crew previously, you couldn't take someone like Starfire or Cyborg. But now Arrogant gets ignored when he's in a team, and I really appreciate that. And then also with Affinity. So if you took Birds of Prey and you had Poison Ivy, Classic Harley Quinn has Affinity Poison Ivy. So some people tried to make arguments that you could take them together in a crew, which didn't make sense because Harley Quinn never showed up when Poison Ivy was part of the Birds of Prey. And I really like that Night Models has given us a clarification on this. They also state that in-game traits such as Mastermind and Strategist still affect the crew as normal, which they should, but then Objectives Everywhere from the Riddler totally makes sense that this wouldn't actually work in the Suicide Squad because the Suicide Squad wouldn't care about Riddler's riddles. They would want to get to their objectives and do the mission that they were sent on, which totally makes sense. I really like this clarification as well. So let's move on to the next one. This is going to be who is a boss in the team. So bosses for teams are kind of confusing just because you can make a crew without someone that's always the boss or has a yes as a boss. And I really like that they have a clarification that a rank leader will be the boss. If a leader isn't in the crew, then a free agent will be the boss. I really like those clarifications. The next clarification that I really appreciate is going to be the order of operations and how you increase or decrease a dice roll or a modifier. I like that it's just the standard order of operations for regular math, so it's multiply, divide, add, subtract. I don't think we have a single multiplier or divider for a dice roll. I could be wrong, but I don't think that those are in there, but I really like that they've clarified that additions happen first and then negatives, because then it like really affects the dice rolls. So the next one is going to be one of my favorites, which were already the bonuses for teams in the Batmatch rules, but now they've made it standard for just regular gameplay because it's in the FAQ. Really, really like this. All the changes that they've made for teams are really, really good. The Teen Titans getting teamwork too. Birds of Prey really needed the bonus to their leaders with both Black Canary or Batgirl getting +1 willpower and leadership, and then reinforced gloves makes them really, really good. It's a ton of fun to play that. The one that I'm not too sure about is the Suicide Squad budget, the $50 extra for every 100 reputation points that you use. I've never built a team that goes that high in funding, but it could be for future stuff. And then Secret Six, the boss getting +2 endurance is monstrous. It's so much fun. Super cool stuff. And that's going to be it for me going over this FAQ. Let me know what you guys think about the FAQ, if there's things that you think that Night Models missed, if there's things that you think were changed that shouldn't have been changed. Like, do you think the bat signal was good at 4 points? Do you think teams are powerful enough without the changes? Let me know. I'm really interested to hear any of that feedback. And remember, 'cause bad guys.